All right, guys, I'm going to talk to you about hydraulic lift repair and hydraulics a little bit. If you're maybe brand new to it, or maybe just want a little bit of information, I'm not a hydraulic repair guy, but I've done all my own work on my trucks. Both of these Versalift trucks and this trailer. This is a towable boom lift. It's not going to replace those two trucks because you don't have to go through scales with this thing, so it's kind of nice to use. So I assume that you'll be doing this at your own risk. Of course, you know it can be dangerous to do hydraulic repair, especially when you're dealing with heavy things. These outriggers I'm working on right now are very heavy, and the trick to it is one thing: is make sure first of all that whatever you're working on is in a neutral position. So there's no weight on it, so it's not lifting anything. It's not in other words, it's like this one right here is not in neutral. It has to be down where it's just setting on the ground and not lifting anything, so kind of in a neutral position with the ground. Right now it's up, right? So the hydraulics actually hold it up, and then the hydraulics let it down. So if I took the hoses off in this position, you got to think that that thing could fall. So think about those things when you're working hydraulics. That could save your life. You could be underneath something, and you know that's number one to think about. Just make sure that you're not under something that can fall on you. Okay. Most of these things are the same. The cylinders aren't hard to repair. You can actually take them apart, buy seal kits. They sell them at Burnell Equipment if you're interested in that. And they're really pretty simple inside. Yeah, there's not really much, other than some seals, and some have one-way seals, some have two-way seals, because depending on the ram, like this one will have a two-way because it pushes and pulls. So inside they all come with a similar thing to this. You take this bolt out, you slide this thing over, and then the pins can come out. Of course, again, neutral position. Make sure there's no weight on it. Make sure, if you're not sure, either don't do it or stand clear. So you see here, I'm doing a hose replacement on this one. If you can see, that hose is what came on it when I bought the unit. And I can tell you right now, the insurance claim will be a whole lot more than the cost of that hose. And if it fell and hurt someone, that would be even more money. So it's much cheaper to replace the hoses. Where I usually go, and it's more expensive than others, is Hoseman. You can take your hose off, take it down, and have it matched up at Hoseman. They're a chain, so they're all over the place. I don't know if they're in your city, but there are places to look for hydraulic hose replace. They'll actually make them for you. This is a special swedge fitting. These get replaced every time with new stuff, so you can't reuse the old ones, if you're wondering that. Well, maybe you could if you did it yourself, but I wouldn't recommend it. Something to think about is if your hose has a 45 on it, it will cost you a lot more money, or 90s. You can buy these at the dealer as well. They were like $115 a piece. At Hoseman they were about 80, which is not cheap to me. But these are Gates high pressure. The other ones were rated at 5,000. These are 6,000 pounds. Gates makes really good rubber for their hoses, so I like that, in fact. So what I've done is I have it in a neutral position, and when I pushed this pin out, nothing moved. It was nice and easy to get off. Then now, since this is in neutral, I know that this is in neutral. Now if it's got pressure in it, the risk is that this could blow fluid through your skin, okay, and or whatever it's holding up could fall on you. So like I said, make sure that's right. If there's a lot of pressure in here, it could be too much pressure, and you just be careful when you take it off. I usually don't have any problem. I've done tons of them myself, but again, take the risk if you want to try it. So anyway, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how the hydraulics work on this. I wasn't sure, and what they have here is they have solenoids at each one of these rams, okay, that are controlled by the computer. And so kind of how it works is what it does is when you push on the position, this hydraulic pump will push fluid into all 4 rams into that section. And what it will do is when those solenoids are open, I just had to figure this out myself, so I figured I'd share it with you guys who maybe are in the same position trying to change your hoses. So what it does is, see, there is this auto level. When you push, oh, just turn this off. When you have this auto level, yeah, that should be off all the time when you're working on it too. So anyway, but anyway, you put it to when you put it to push auto level and you push extend, all 4 of them will go down at the same time. Basically what the computer does inside here is it'll release all 4 solenoids, and then as they go down, then as it feels like it's leveling, it'll start shutting off the solenoids until it levels. And that's kind of how that auto level thing works, if you're wondering, trying to work on it, trying to figure out something that's wrong with yours. So what it also does is I can push extend and then each one of these 4 buttons, and that'll bring each arm down by itself. So I could push extend with it turned on to platform, to the trailer right here, extend here, and then push that outrigger, and just that one would go down by itself. So, and what it does is basically it pressurizes all 4 of them, okay, and then pressurizes to the solenoid, and then this solenoid releases and lets that arm down. So I had to kind of figure that out because mine has a creeping problem. It creeps really slowly. So it's telling me probably that the main one, this main solenoid for the side, is probably sticking or not sealing properly. So I'm kind of getting it narrowed down now. So I've got to find out where that solenoid is. It's probably on the other side. But then again, I did have a hose leak, so any hose leak on any of them, if the solenoids are open, then it will, start to creep down. So that could be it as well. But I'm guessing that it's one of the solenoids for, I believe there are 2. I'm trying to look here. I can see there's 1, 2, looks like. So one of these, or there's 2 more down there. So probably one of them, I don't know which one, but I'm just going to give you guys the idea so you can look for yourselves if you have the same problem. One of these has some O-rings in it that may need to be replaced, or maybe just replace the valve. I'm sure they're not cheap. But what I have to do is find out which one of them runs outriggers. Now, so one of these opens up all 4 of them. So it's only one of these probably that's bad. So once I find out which one it is, then I can replace it, and that will probably solve the problem with it creeping down slowly. If it's not the hoses, it could be the hoses. So once I've got those repaired, I'm realizing that it's probably not one of these solenoids. I don't think it's that, because it's creeping down. The whole thing is going down all really, really slow. Takes quite a while for it to go down, but it does it. So if it was doing all 4 of them, then it must be from here, right? Because that energizes the whole hydraulic system for all 4 of them, and then the computer runs these solenoids here and does each one individually. So that's how I figured out how it works. If you have any other information you'd like to put in this, or maybe you are a lift repair guy, maybe your suggestions might be good for other people who might have a problem, who are trying to fix their own and can't afford a lift repair person to come over. So anyway, that's it. I'm just, like I said, I'm not a lift repair guy. I'm just putting this video on here because I've learned a few things, and it might help you guys who are also trying to learn your own a couple of things as well. I'll talk to you in the next video, because I don't see any other videos on this stuff. I'll talk to you in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.